Everyone loves the convenience of creating a quick meal without dirtying up a ton of cookware. The problem is sometimes you sacrifice quality for the sake of convenience. That's not happening here. High quality beef gets treated with the respect it deserves. Tons of flavor, but not a ton of time. Ramen Noodle Helper to the rescue. Let's start with getting some water boiling and chopping up the dried shiitakes. They will hydrate a little faster when sliced, and it saves a step later on when we have to move a little more quickly. Plus, soaked mushrooms can be slippery to cut. Put them into a heat-proof bowl and cover with 3/4 of a cup of the boiling water. This will allow them to hydrate properly and create a quick mushroom broth. Cover them in plastic wrap to trap in the heat and allow them to soak. Now we can get the eggs into the remaining boiling water and cook for 7 minutes. This will give you a nice soft-boiled egg with a jammy center. Once the 7 minutes has elapsed, carefully remove them and plunge them into an ice-cold water bath to stop them from cooking any further. While the eggs chill, we can prep the rest of the ingredients. We'll mince up some garlic cloves for a fresh aromatic ingredient. I really prefer to mince fresh garlic. You can use the jarred stuff if you want, but it's never a bad thing to practice your knife skills. Now we'll work on some green onions. First, slice up the greens of the onion and set those aside for finishing. They have a more delicate onion flavor that is nice to add at the end of the dish. Now we can slice up the whites. They're a little bit heartier and can take a higher heat. We'll combine the whites of the onions with the minced garlic and use those to build flavor early on. Peel the soft-boiled eggs and put them back into the water bath to wash off any egg fragments. Remember, they're soft-boiled, so be gentler with them so they don't break open. For this recipe, we'll use a Certified Angus Beef ground chuck. It's a great way to turn a simple noodle dish into an amazing meal, because if it's not certified, it's not the best. Heat up a little high-temp oil in a skillet and start to sear the ground beef over medium-high heat. Lightly break it up into larger chunks and season with salt and pepper. Once mostly cooked, you can add the garlic and green onions. Stir this around so the aromatics start to release their flavor, but make sure not to burn them. Next, we'll add the slaw mix. Slaw's going in. I love using pre-shredded slaw mix because it saves on prep time and it saves refrigerator space by combining 2 ingredients in 1 bag. Add a couple cups of water, the mushrooms along with their soaking liquid, then some sambal, which is a fermented chili sauce that will add a little spice. Next, we'll hit it with some soy sauce, sesame oil, and rice vinegar for a little acidity. Finally, hit it with some dried ginger. Fresh would be even better if you have some on hand. Bring everything to a simmer and stir well to combine. This will be the base for our noodles. Now we can go in with our bricks of ramen noodles. This is one of my favorite brands, so I'll save those packets for another time because we're already building enough flavor here. Nestle the ramen noodles into the simmering liquid. The noodles will cook as they absorb the flavors that we've been building this whole time. Cover and cook for 2 minutes without peeking. After 2 minutes, flip the noodles and cover and cook an additional 2 minutes. You want to make sure the noodles are cooking evenly since they're not fully submerged in the liquid, so you'll have to flip them halfway through. Now that the noodles are cooked through but not overcooked, you can start to fold all the ingredients together. Don't be too rough. You want to keep all those stringy noodles intact. Finally, hit it with the rest of the sliced scallion. This will give it that touch of fresh green onion flavor. That's all it takes. Time to plate up and give it a try. Finally, we can add that soft-boiled egg from earlier to complete the bowl. Look at that beef and noodle bowl. It's got everything you need for a good meal. Quality beef, veggies, and chewy ramen noodles. Now that's showing some love to some instant ramen noodles. Join me again next time here in the test kitchen.